Gojo Satoru's fate in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, will he be unsealed? Jujutsu Kaisen is one of the biggest new-gen anime series, which has kept fans on the edge of their seats with 2 action-packed seasons and a prequel movie. Based on Gijako Tami's famed manga, JJK wrapped up its most devastating and crucial Shibuya incident arc last year, and even revealed glimpses of Season 3 before sealing the deal with Yuta's grand entrance onto the scene. Now, fans are preparing for another surge of relentless battles, as Kenjaku takes center stage in dragging the heroes into his next deadly game. There's a lot to look forward to with Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, scheduled for release in January 2026, but fans seem concerned about just one thing: will Gojo Satoru return in the next season? After being sealed by Kenjaku midway through Season 2, the fate of the strongest sorcerer is uncertain, and fans wonder if he'll make an appearance in the upcoming season. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 will adapt the manga's longest arc. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2's ending was a lot to take in, especially after Yuji and the others were unsuccessful in retrieving the prison realm. Once the word of Gojo's sealing reached the Jujutsu sorcerers, they combined forces for his rescue, but Kenjaku had set traps all over Shibuya. Most of the students were engaged in a battle with different sorcerers, and both sides sustained heavy losses. Although Yuji and the remaining sorcerers were able to corner Kenjaku, he eventually fled with the prison realm, plunging the whole of Japan into utter darkness. JJK Season 2 ended with Yuta coming back from his hiatus and joining in on the action for his highly anticipated confrontation with Yuji Itadori. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 will cover 3 arcs from the manga: Itadori's extermination, perfect preparation, and the Culling Game arc. Season 2 ended after adapting 137 chapters from the manga, despite the Shibuya incident arc concluding in chapter 136. This means that Season 3 will waste no time getting right into the aftermath of Shibuya's devastation. Without Gojo Satoru's protection, the Jujutsu Society has reinstated Yuji's execution and called in the only special-grade sorcerer available to carry out the execution. With Japan under siege from curses now roaming freely on the streets, and the sorcerers still recovering from the Shibuya onslaught, the heroes lag behind in their search for Gojo. Fortunately, after cleverly deceiving the higher-ups and saving Yuji, Yuta teams up with the remaining Gojo supporters to find a way to free him before Kenjaku strikes the city with his next terror attack. That said, given the limited number of episodes and the fact that Gojo was unsealed in the later parts of the Culling Games arc, it's doubtful that the blue-eyed sorcerer will appear this season. Gojo Satoru might not make an appearance until the end of Season 3, after the Itadori extermination arc. The JJK world will face an unusual political struggle that will be expanded in the perfect preparation arc. Gojo Satoru's absence caused a stir in the Jujutsu world, as his sealing not only gave curses the confidence to roam free but also presented other powerful sorcerer families with an opportunity as well. The Gojo clan is only as strong as its 6 eyes user, and with him gone, any one of the 3 big families can gain the upper hand in controlling the Jujutsu Society. This is also one of the reasons why it takes such a long time for Yuji and the other students to free Gojo. They get dragged in from one challenge to another, all an elaborate and combined attempt of Gojo Satoru's enemies to keep him away from the Jujutsu Society. However, Kenjaku was the ultimate mastermind behind everything that conspired in Season 2, a plan that he had meticulously devised over 1,000 years. The ancient sorcerer sought to perfect humanity and usher in the next reign of the curses, and for this, he needed to defeat the strongest sorcerer of his time. Since it was virtually impossible to even touch Gojo Satoru, Kenjaku cunningly occupied Geto's body to gain an emotional edge against Satoru, and it worked. The only way to truly defeat 6 Eyes was to seal it for good, and that's what Kenjaku did. After that, he acquired Mahito's curse technique, using it to awaken ancient sorcerers and curses to participate in a lethal battle royale. The Culling Games arc is the longest arc in the manga, covering roughly 68 chapters. It includes some of the best and most grueling battles in the entire manga, pushing every sorcerer to the limit in their attempt to stop Kenjaku. It was because of this very tournament that Yuji faced several hurdles in freeing Gojo, and he won't be successful until the very end of the Culling Games arc. It takes over 100 chapters for Gojo to get unsealed. Unfortunately, there's no guarantee that the upcoming Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 will cover the entire Culling Games arc, because that will take up the whole length of the first 2 seasons. Therefore, it's difficult to say with conviction if Gojo Satoru will be unsealed at the end of Season 3. It all depends on how much the anime is willing to squeeze in within a single season without rushing through these crucial arcs. Moreover, with the trend of turning focal storylines into feature-length movies, it's possible that JJK might opt to make Gojo's entrance a little bit more dramatic than just a cliffhanger at the end of the season. Understandably, when it comes explicitly to Gojo Satoru, matters aren't as simple as they seem. Since there are more forces in favor of keeping him sealed than against, it takes a collective effort from Gojo's sympathizers to break the prison realm. Even then, Kenjaku ensured he did everything he could to buy him as much time as possible. That's why even when the Jujutsu sorcerers successfully unsealed him, he was transported deep under the ocean. The ancient sorcerer hoped that, if not kill him completely, such a move might at least slow Gojo down until the culling games concluded. Luckily, for the strongest sorcerer alive, even the deepest waters pose little threat, and Gojo rises effortlessly to challenge Sukuna and Kenjaku in an ultimate showdown. Gojo will likely return in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 4. Gojo Satoru, the most popular JJK character, remains absent from the story for at least 100 chapters, marking a very frustrating time for his fans as they wait for his return. However, since it's no secret anymore, the wait becomes even more devastating once the audience learns of the manga's ending. Gyakutami's masterpiece ended in 2024, and it was nothing short of controversial. For someone who had been set up to be a god-tier character, Gojo's unceremonious demise at the hands of Sukuna wasn't well received by fans. It shocked the entire fandom to the core and sparked a worldwide campaign against the brutal treatment of everyone's favorite sorcerer. It almost felt as if the entirety of Gojo's character development amounted to nothing when he failed against Sukuna. Nonetheless, there's still some solace for anime-only fans since it'll be a while before the inevitable happens. Ultimately, one must accept the fact that a single character can't drive a story if it needs to have a certain nuance and emotional weight to it. Jujutsu Kaisen has compelled viewers to love dark and edgy shonen anime in which the power of friendship isn't always enough. JJK Season 2 proved just how brutal and relentless it can be when it comes to sacrificing characters for the sake of plot progression. Fans lost the likes of Nobara and Kento Nanami, but sacrifices are needed to raise the stakes. Gojo Satoru is a spotlight stealer whether he wants to be or not. He's the strongest, which ultimately makes the outcome of every battle predictable. Therefore, it was necessary for Gojo to give way to the younger generation and let characters like Maki, Yuji, Yuta, and Megumi shine. Before his unsealing, these sorcerers forged their own path and battled every threat to the death to uphold everything that Gojo taught them. Without Gojo's helping hand, every student was forced to confront their demons and find the true power in them. In the end, fans find Gojo irresistible not because of his looks or power but because he represents a path of growth and hope for many. His character has a symbolism that's crucial for the story, and it was truly heartbreaking to see such a character meet an unsavory end.